Greetings and salutations. Welcome to my stream. I'm Cameron Russmore. How's it all going, everybody? Not too bad today. I'm a bit tired. I'm getting waves of nausea every now and again. Just hopefully it doesn't crop up during the stream, because twice today I've had to go lie down for like half an hour. But I'm feeling okay at the moment, so we'll figure out what's going on from there. Where's this? I mean, kind of makes sense. Sorry, I'm just... hey, Mecca, how's it going? They've released the Mass Effect trilogy as a Legendary Edition, including all of the DLC but one. Because somebody didn't back it up and it's become corrupted. Although it will be releasing, it's like 55 quid, which actually isn't the worst costing in the world. You know, it kind of makes sense a little bit. That doesn't make sense. Pre-purchase Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Mass Effect 3 Owner's Offer Bundle. So basically, it's on Steam. So like a bundle. So if you buy Mass Effect 3, then you get Mass Effect Legendary Edition cheaper. But if you buy both of them right now, it's more expensive. It's just one of them where it's like, okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world if you do actually have it, but I don't actually have Mass Effect 3 on Steam. I got it as a bribe from EA for free because of shenanigans. And it was like, here, sorry for your inconvenience. Please pick one of these games to have for free. And it was like, okay. I'm just elevating myself up because these arms were feeling a little bit low. And if I'm sat like that, all the blood drains out my arms, and then they start flailing around. Not bad, just going to work on some new art now. I have a new lightbox to test. Fair enough. I will pretend I know what one of them is. I think I know what one of them is. Basically, it's a box that projects a light so that you can see the paper clearer. And rather than trying to have cameras all over the show, not cameras, lights all over the show, or you projecting light because the light's coming through the paper, you don't get shadows, in theory, I believe. It also helps if you're tracing something or copying something from one sheet to another. You can do your doodle on one piece of paper, put that on the bottom, put another piece of paper over the top, and then do careful lines. But that's all fancy stuff that I don't really know too much about. Why has the music stopped? Why has the music stopped? Maybe I reached the end of the playlist. I don't know. Yeah, I'd reached the end of the playlist. So congratulations if you've been here from the start and listening to me play the music all of the time. You've heard the entire, not album. Well, it is kind of an album. What are the things? Basically the music of the game. Whatever one of them things is. I don't know. The name escapes me. Official soundtrack. There we go. It finally came to me. I backlit artwork, master for tracing and animation, handy for me to transfer to marker paper to color. Old box was fluorescent tubes, and heavy. New one is USB powered LED lit acrylic sheet. Okay, so as much as I was pretending that I knew what a light box was before, about some of those words, it's just even bamboozled me even more now. Right, so I actually remember what I'm doing for once. That's a surprise. So we're gonna head off to the City of Lost Eyes.
All according to plan.
I didn't want to hit that box. I wanted to exit. Oh, I can exit from here. Right, back to the usual cast of people. Oh yeah, animators would use it for tracing step by step, so you put the previous frame underneath and then you know how much further you need to put it. The City of Hollow Eyes. There we go. Now, do we reckon it's... Why is that still saying new events? Don't know. Believe we want to go there. But yeah, that's for old school animation as well, where it's all single frame, single frame, single frame, drawn out by hand. These days most animation is done on a computer, and it's like, it still can be all single frame, but you can muck around with it so that I want stuff that makes me go for longer. 4 hours. What do I want with jeweled rice? I'll go for the jeweled rice. Let's give the jeweled rice a go.
These barbarians make marvelous characters. All we need is some noble savage.
Do you ever talk about anything besides your book? Life is so much bigger than art can ever portray. People are so much more complicated than any sketch conveys.
I'm pretty sure I didn't actually just read out Lindsay's line correctly. But I forgot to check it over there. Right, so the kingdom's falling apart as per usual, but we're off to do this thing. I know, we're off to have a random encounter with a dragon token. It's probably not a dragon, don't get your hopes up, folks. It's goblins, but because it's goblins, I'm going to sneak out the back. Bye!
Enemy approaching!
Shoot, something saw me.
Serves
I blame you.
right.
See, even Lindsay just hits you. And she's not very good. So I found out earlier today that the Hitman 3 elusive targets is going to be starting later this month. One of the things that I'm thinking of doing is doing the elusive targets live on stream. Which is probably a terrible idea. I mean, the whole thing smacks me as a terrible idea because there's sort of like... It's got a high chance for going wrong. That's my main problem with it. And I don't know how strict they are on the whole, you must find them and kill them before they escape. And if you fail, that's it, you're over, you only get the one chance.
Let us strike as one!
But as they come out, so like in 2-week intervals, thinking of basically dropping Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, no. See, if I do it on the Monday, I need to end the stream after 3 hours. Not that I expect these to take 3 hours. It's just one of them where on a Friday, if
A calculated risk.
if the stream needs to go on long. Oh, there's another one over there. Did not see him though. Yeah, on a Friday, if I go on long because I've not finished something, then that's perfectly possible. On the Mondays, I need to go shopping after I finish the stream, and I've only got like an hour to go shopping because I leave it until right at the end of the day. As not to, or just to avoid bumping into as many people as possible.
Onwards!
But in doing so, that means that, you know, at most I can let my stream drag on for like 5-10 minutes before I'm really starting to run out of time for going to the shops. But if I replace it on the Fridays, if I don't finish it up in time, I don't finish it up in time. Supplies. Love the way Amory just goes around screaming, but doesn't actually quite reach the... So it made the mistake of trying to attack when she was in range. Masterwork bows. Masterwork bows. I think these are slightly better than average goblins. Because this is all masterwork stuff. And there wasn't as many of them. And now we flee. But yeah, if I do it on Friday, then I'll start my usual time. Try to accomplish it. If I do manage to accomplish it, what I'm probably going to do, you know, as I don't know how long it's going to take and I want to stream for at least 3 hours, then what I'll probably do is I'll probably start with the elusive target. Then if I finish it early, I'll move on to the main campaign.
We will be victorious.
And then after that, if it does drag on, I've got as long as it takes to finish it. I mean, if it takes me like 5 hours to finish it, then I can't say as I blame people for giving up about halfway through and it's like, no, I gotta go, I need food. Or
You deserve
sleep. But at least, you know, you can catch it on the on demand. The VODs, video on demand, that's why we call it VODs. Okay, you made a mistake of coming up to me. Hiya! Die! 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 That wasn't very good at making them dead.
This is for you!
For me? Really? Bum, bum. Let's move back a bit.
Repent.
Yeah, I never got any for Hitman 1 and 2. And that's why I've actually stumped up the cash and bought Hitman 3 as soon as I found that it was out. Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, I wish that they were more seasonal. I wish that they repeated more frequently. Because one of the things I heard is that when Hitman came out, they did the elusive targets once round. And then people discovered that IO Interactive had made a decent Hitman game and bought it. And then it's like, everybody was like, what are these elusive targets? And why can't we access them? And they were like, well, it was this thing that you missed. And it's like,
Bring it!
oh, so I've bought a game that I don't actually have access to all of the content for. And they kind of buckled down the first time round and was like, you know what, we'll run the elusive targets one last time. So there was actually 2 goes round for the elusive targets in Hitman. But as far as I'm aware, they didn't do that for Hitman 2. And as far as I'm aware, they have no intention of doing that for Hitman 1, for Hitman 3.
I'll fight if I have to.
And it's one of them where it's like, I don't like that they did it. I understand why they did it. because it's basically a selling promotion kind of thing where it's like, oh, you want to take part in these elusive targets? Well, jump on the bandwagon while the price is 50 quid and you too can have access to these elusive targets.
Let us strike as one.
But if you wait until after all the elusive targets, oh, the price magically drops down by 20 quid or whatever. And don't get me wrong, the thing is, with the way that Hitman and Hitman 2 have been, the amount of content you get for your money and the variability, because you can choose to do these things however you desire, along with the escalations, it doesn't mean that it's a bad price for what you get. It's just, it irks me a little that it's like, there's an element of it which I don't get to experience because I was late. And the thing is, it's one of the reasons why I'm so late to the Hitman games, or especially the first two, was Hitman for me, I'd turned off from years ago. During sort of like the original Hitman games. I played the first one and did not enjoy it. That is not pretty. I'm nearly dead and 5 more have just appeared and one of them's going straight for me. Right, Lindsay, I'm going to need you to sing us a song and shoot the guy who isn't good. And I loved the concept of Hitman, but the implementation of the early games left, in my humble opinion, a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
And then I think I gave 1 or 2 more a try after that. Because it's all like, well, you know, they've done, you know, the first game in a series is always nice concept, executed okay, but not great. And ultimately, you know, the second one of the series is usually the best implementation of a game you're going to find. That's just my experience of gaming as a whole. For a variety of different games. It's just an odd thing that I've noticed. And I played one of the later ones as well. I can't remember which one it is now off the top of my head. It was years ago. But every time I was slightly disappointed by the implementation because it was like if you couldn't figure out exactly how they had intended for you to assassinate this target. Have you not? Is there one dead in the middle there?
They go down!
I think Anne-Marie has just sucked this entire fight. So yeah, if you didn't get the exact way that you were supposed to assassinate this target, the game would just not so much punish you, but it was very unforgiving. And that, to a certain degree, it was like I couldn't figure out how the developers wanted me to win a particular level, and it was just like, I'm gonna have to stop because it's all I'm getting frustrated getting so far through a level only to fail because I didn't realize that they wanted me to kill this guy like this. So the entire Hitman franchise I basically turned off of. Didn't pay any attention to it whatsoever. Then I was letting YouTube just autoplay while I watched videos and wasn't excessively paying attention to it. And eventually a channel called Outside Xbox, I believe they're called, was playing, I believe it's Hitman 2. Can't quite remember, or they might have been playing it just levels from both of them. But they were doing a let's play of
This will hurt.
one of the more recent Hitmans, and it was so like, I was listening to it and I was like, oh, okay, this sounds interesting. That's... And then I actually started tuning in and so like paying attention to what they were talking to it about, and it was like, oh, this is the new generation of the Hitman games. And I watched them for a little while longer, and they were playing on some console. Probably an Xbox, given the fact that it was called Outside Xbox, but not entirely sure if they were, because one of the reasons why they were called Outside Xbox is because they used to be part of a magazine called Inside Xbox, and then everybody got made redundant as magazines kind of dwindled. So they took it online and called themselves Outside Xbox, but I don't know whether they stayed true to just playing Xbox games. And after watching a couple of these videos where it's like, oh, this is interesting. This is actually the kind of game that I wanted to play way back in the day. I looked at Steam, and it was like, you can buy Hitman for like 20 quid, or you can buy Hitman 2 for, I think it was like 40 quid, something like that in total. And it was like, I've been burnt by Hitman before, but if I go for the cheaper one and see how it plays, and so I played through the first Hitman game, and it was like, okay, this is actually pretty good, in my humble opinion, these days. This is not what I was expecting, although that's a very small map. And it was like, no, this is kind of what I want from a Hitman game. And so once I'd finished Hitman, to my satisfaction, I looked at picking up Hitman 2. And then I picked up Hitman 2 just as the season for elusive targets had closed, as well as the fact that I still hadn't figured out what were these elusive targets, other than they're currently locked for me. Is this something that I need to figure out? Is this... Eventually did enough research, and it was like, oh, they were time-sensitive events that I had no idea that they were going on. Well then. Which is why I've jumped on the back of Hitman 3. It's like, no, this time I'm going to buy it early enough. And even then I was like, do I really want to? Because it's still retailing at like 50 quid. And I thought, well, if I don't do it, I'll only regret it. So I figured spend the money and get Hitman 3. And the thing is, it depends on a little bit about, have they been ramping up the difficulty? Because if they ramped up the difficulty for the elusive targets in Hitman 1, and then you went into Hitman 2, and they kept on ramping up the difficulty, is it going to be, I'm going to be dropped into Hitman 3? No idea what's going on. As far as I've been able to establish, you're not told who, you're told who the target is, you're given a description of them, but you're not given any map markers. They can escape, meaning that you failed the mission. You have one shot at it. If you fail the mission is forever failed. If you succeed the mission is forever succeeded. Rumoured that in the first two, maybe not the third, as long as you didn't fail the mission, you could hit the reset button and start the mission again. How much notification you got for the mission's failure? You know, was it a case of if they saw you, they ran for the hills? In which case, you're walking around and you suddenly see somebody out the corner of your eye start off sprinting, and it's like, that looks like the guy I need to kill, but I think he saw me first. You hit the reset button and try it again. I get the feeling that they'll have to do it like that, simply because of, you know, I'm playing the mission, I realize that it hits a critical point where I'm going to fail. I press Control-Alt-Delete and forcibly shut down the game. I reload it up. If it doesn't give me the mission, I complain that the game crashed on me just as I was about to effectively finish the elusive target. What gives? I've loaded it back in and it's now failed. What gives? You know, the fact that I forcibly crashed it, it's morally ambiguous. Anyway, back onto the game that I'm actually playing right now. A huge scar crosses the face of this sturdy, silver-haired woman. An eye patch hides her left eye, while right shines with silver. She raises a bloody blade in salute. You came just in time. We owe you one. Who are you? I'm Hilda the Toothgrinder from the Tiger Lord's Tram. This is my war party. We're here fighting things, as you can see. Are you an Azamar? What? Don't I look like a Celestial? Ha! I'm an Azamar. No idea which of my great-grandfathers made it with a Celestial, but my entire lineage, the blood only... But in my entire lineage, the blood only manifested in me. I'm sure it was the plan all along. It's common custom to strengthen the bloodline with the blood of orcs or whatever powerful beings come in handy. My birth was deemed a good sign, and a proof of the god's blessings, but I call it bullshit. The god's blessing should be earned on the battlefield. By the way, Azamar, if anybody is watching and not familiar with, are half human, half celestial. Celestial can include angels, but the term celestial is a very broad, sweeping, because yes, something can be an angel that is the minion of a certain deity, but you can also be a deity and have minions that are not humanesque. But I don't think, strictly speaking, they have to be angels. But yeah, as J Station quite crudely put it, it's angels getting busy with mortals. And that's how you make an Azamar. What are you doing here? What do I care? What do you care? We came here, so we obviously have business here. What about you? What are you doing here? The defaced sister sent me. Ah, I see. It was a good call. They may be witches, but they be smart. They are smart. She doesn't say they be smart. That's me inflecting. We really needed extra hands here. Here's the deal. We came with one of the witches to look for some trash in the tomb. We set up camp, and the sister took some of my people into the ruins around dawn. Never came back. Instead, these zombie cyclopses started crawling out on us from all places. Fun day, huh? My group can't afford to be separated now. We only barely fought those things off. How about this? You scout the place and look for our people. Find out if anyone's still alive. I'll pay you in gold. Deal? Deal. Who would have thought the offspring of an angel and immortals would result in an edgelord 90% of the time? I mean, I feel personally attacked with that statement because I have played sort of like the edgier side of Asimar's. I could give my reasoning for that, but you know, it's one of them where it's like, any reasoning is probably bullshit. But yeah, a lot of players tend to play it that way, unless they decide to play it straight. And I can't think of many people who decide to play it straight. I just realised I shouldn't be stealing things, but that's a recipe. So I want it. And I'm pretty sure somebody here knows how to make it anyway. That's the odd thing. It's like you read the recipe and it's like, oh, it's gone forever now.
What's that? That is not far.
What's what, Emery? What is what? Oh, that. Okay, that's still in there. Oh, well. You're not stealing, you're merely acquiring future payment in advance. That's one way of putting it, but it's also not the way that I should be putting it. I am lawful good, I am the good guy in all of this, somehow.
This is for you.
But yeah, Jerk Station, I was mentioning before you arrived, they've announced when the Hitman 3... Oh wow, these barbarians are weak. I would not go running up if I was you, sir. Sprint you. Oh. Yeah, go annoy that one. Maybe we can save the barbarians. But yeah, Hitman 3, they announced the elusive targets. Starting towards the end of February. The elusive targets run for like 2 weeks at a time, as far as I can make out. So what I'm going to be doing is the earliest Friday after a target has been announced, I'm going to be giving it a go on stream. Part of me would have preferred Monday because it starts earlier. But at the same token, if it runs on long for whatever reason, then I end up a little bit stuck because I have to stop my Monday stream when I do. Excuse me. Whereas with the Friday stream, I usually stop at around midnight.
We're the legend.
But if it's not midnight that I finish, then at the end of the day, it's not going to be the end of the world if it goes on for a little while longer. Yeah, I think I bought it after the last stream, where it was I decided to go digging into the elusive targets, and it's like they've not started them yet. And it's like, oh, so I get to get in from the ground up. And at that point it was like, no, it's, so I went over this earlier, but limited window. You're told who the target is and given a basic description, but not a map marker to go, they are here. And you'll get one attempt at it. Although, as I was discussing earlier, it's like, I don't know how strict that one attempt at it is. Because from what I've read about the
You can't stop me.
previous Hitman games is like, if the target spots you or notices that you're up to no good and tries to escape, it can escape, causing you to fail the mission. However, with that, if you know that the target is escaping,
Onwards!
then you used to be able to restart it as far as I can make out. And that restarting of it allowed you to have a second attempt, as it were. Now I've heard rumour, and as I say it is only just rumour, that they were looking at basically, no, you only had one attempt. If you failed it, you failed it. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. My only question is, how do they detect that you failed it, as opposed to the video game crashing, for example?
Consider me provoked.
Because I would be kind of frustrated in real life if it was like I got so close to completing it but then failed it because the game crashed. But I'm also aware that, you know, a computer has a very difficult time telling the difference between the game crashing and you going into Task Manager and forcibly shutting down your computer. And I don't know where this last one is, and I've already... There we go. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Supplies! So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a little bit more research into it when I can. And figure out if there's more to be gleaned. Possibly going to look up some videos online for the previous elusive target stuff, to get an exact feeling of yeah, especially when since it's always online, and had not a few problems with that freezing and or crashing.
They go down!
Yeah, I don't know about the freezing crashing, but yeah, the always online part is a bit problematic, as is the fact that, you know, video games can crash. Doesn't matter how well it's made or how poorly it's made, they crash. All these barbarians are in my way. See, what they could be doing is like, alright, you started the mission, you finished the mission, now it crashed in the middle. Well, tough. But I don't see them doing that because that could raise a lot of complaints. You know, I'd certainly be one to be complaining. It's like, no, look, I paid
You forced my hand.
more money for this one than I have any other previous Hitman game because I got it early, so I could take part in the elusive targets. It is not my fault that your game crashed, but unless you tell me how to resolve this so that I actually get to play the game that I paid for,
Bring it!
then I'm going to be insisting on a refund. Whether they pay any attention to that or not, I don't know, but if it happens to a few people,
I'll fight if I have to.
then it's likely to get some kind of notice somewhere along the line. The only thing is, what I need to do to a certain degree Also, I need to find out how difficult these elusive targets potentially are, because I don't know. And off the back of that, if it's supposedly very difficult, I need to get a lot of practice into Hitman again before the end of the month. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got plenty of time. I think. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. And also to a certain degree, you know, the Fridays, if I manage to finish the stream earlier, or manage to finish the elusive target early, I can always go back to playing through the main campaign proper of Hitman all the way through on Hitman 3.
Let us strike as one!
Which I've not played much of. I think I might have played the tutorial bit of it. I was just checking. They've done something interesting. I'm not entirely sure if it's a bug or what, but they've changed around one of the key controls. And it's like, in the old one, it always used to be this button. Now it's this button. Why? Why did you? You could start streaming your prep work sooner. I could do. The thing is, it's already one of them where it's like, it's taking me a long time to actually finish any video game on stream. I don't know. What does everybody think to me dropping? What button has changed? Putting a body in a cupboard. I believe it's that one. Or it's opening a door. No, I don't think it's opening a door. I'm pretty sure it's putting a body in a cupboard. And it's changed to another key that isn't uncommon. You know, it's already bound to it. It's one of them where I'd have to go playing it again. And seeing what's what. But it's, rather than it being the same button as the previous ones to stuff them in the cupboard, it's now changed to sort of like the alternate use button that it's used in the previous games for other things. I'd be up for a Hitman stream, even prep work of, might even poke at getting the game, but I want it on stream so it ties in with the others. But I want it on stream. Oh, Steam. Sorry, I thought you said stream then. Yeah, that's one of my slight concerns about getting it over on Epic. But the thing is, it's exclusive to Epic for a year, and see, this is another thing where it's like the whole elusive target thing doesn't make sense in some regards. It's exclusive to Epic for a year. Yet the elusive targets are starting up already? So does that mean that if you're not getting it on Epic, you're just not getting the elusive targets? So yeah, I don't think I've got Hitman 2 on... I don't have Hitman 2 on Epic. Because I pre-ordered, or ordered very shortly after release, Hitman 3 on Epic, they gave me access to the Hitman 1 content. But yeah, like Magcat said, it'd be nice if I could actually get all of the content. Would enjoy a prep training montage stream for a few weeks leading up to it. So if on Fridays I played Hitman 3 for the time being. Oh, Magcat, by the way, there was a thing. I need to go poking around a bit more on different websites. But there was a yeah, unfortunately I probably can't get away with playing 80s music on stream. But you know, everybody in the background while I'm playing Hitman, just put in Eye of a Tiger on loop on YouTube. Yeah, maybe they'll do a second round of Elusive Contracts when it's out on Steam. Maybe they'll do that. I won't bank on that though, but I saw something, a news article somewhere where it was like they were trying to figure out how to get the content from Steam associated with the content on Epic. So if you owned 1 and 2 on Steam, you could still access it from Hitman 3 bought on Epic. But don't hold me to that. Don't go run out, buy it, and then tell me it doesn't work, because I've not yet tried that myself. And why is there a tent out here in the middle of nowhere?
A trivial matter.
This is a really big map.
All according.
I have a feeling that a lot of this is just empty spaces and not goblins, cyclops. Right. Is this a river? Can I
follow my lead?
Okay, I can't stand in the river. So let's explore this side of the river. For ways across. You're a ferocious warg. Yeah, I've barely actually played Hitman 2 at all. So I don't actually know what the plot is going into Hitman 3, which is so like okay. So yeah, Fridays I will be doing a stream of Hitman. Starting from 1, going all the way through, playing it in 3.
Let's try this way.
So that I get used to the controls.
I didn't even break a sweat.
I'll do the elusive targets in 3, of course, when and where they're ready. And hopefully I will have figured out the mapping from Steam to Epic before you're gonna stand up and die.
Oh, Serenray, I see your light.
Yep.
Any last wishes?
God dang it. With cleric lamb.
Hey, can someone help me?
Probably not.
Do not falter!
You see, one of the elusive targets is a clone of Agent 47, and what have I missed in the plot? I mean, part of the plot of the Hitman games is figuring out who Agent 47 actually is. Because he has no recollection of it. One would say that if it's not 40, you know, if you're one of the elusive targets is 47, then they might look like 47, but I'd suggest that they're actually not 47. As for how the plot actually goes, I don't recall.
Bring it!
But we'll discover it together again. On stream. Why are they doing this? Could they just not go for the weak squishy folk?
Onwards! Her!
This should do it. An expected outcome. A calculated risk.
46. I mean, they've got 46 others to choose from, as well as, you know, who's to say that the agent agent training stopped as soon as they got to 47. It's like, no, we've created a monster in 47. Let's abandon the project here.
Stay behind me! Victory is inevitable.
And you get slightly more worried if it turns out to be Agent 100 or something like that, and it's like, oh my god, how many did they actually make?
This will hurt.
And how successful were they after 47? Nice. Now I'm gonna wander over here and find the other wolves. Hey, there's a bandit still standing. Charge! Agent 42, he knows all the answers. Yes, but does he know what the question is anymore? I don't think you understand how barcodes work. I'm always actually curious as to what Agent 47's barcode says. Probably just Agent 47 or something daft like that. Right, Tristan, heal. And again. Heinz 57 variety. As in what Agent 47's barcode it has, or Agent 57's?
It is finished. In due time.
I do believe 007 and 006 are on. Oh, all the barcodes are just different Heinz products. That might be a possibility. The animal looks like it was killed with a single devastating blow. So yeah, 6 and 7 are on loan to the British government. '47 is Thomas Thomas the Tank shaped spaghetti. See, I have no reason to disbelieve you.
As it should be.
But why do you know that? Also, I think that is de facto the best hands product. Okay. Welcome to my channel, folks, where the chat is taken up by a pair of loons. There are enormous footprints in the dirt. Well, what were you expecting? Oh look, more warg. Luckily they're going after Valerie this time. Woo!
Let's try this way.
Yes, you made a mistake. Oh, somebody actually hit Valerie.
You can't stop me!
And the rest of the logs just ignore the bandits.
Serves you right.
Repent!
Stand up. Hey, if you actually look in the background of Thomas, it is the dark, twisted story in a hell of dystopian rulership. Engines are faced with working for the Rotund One or suffering at the hands of a cutter's torch. Very grim dark. I mean, I never really paid that much attention to Thomas Tank Engine.
This should do it.
Why are you not getting... Oh, is it rogue levels? Has it got that silly, stupid... feet that allows it to... Yeah, uncanny dodge. I think it is. She cannot be caught flat-footed, yeah. Damn it. True, it was all written by a priest too. As a kid, neither did I. It's amazing what you learn when you grow older. Kind of like all the jokes you missed when you first watched on the first watch of Animaniacs. I mean,
Provoked.
has this been proven by
This is for you.
Red Aura?
You deserved it.
Stare until long enough for me
You
to figure out
forced
what the
my
red
hand.
aura is. Cause do you mean the red? I'm not seeing a red aura on this one.
Let us strike as one!
He's now dead, so I don't know. See, I don't think the ferocious ogre warg is immune to my crits. I just delay until after Valor. I'm wrong.
A calculated risk.
Yeah, my sneak attacks aren't
This will hurt.
are okay against the worgen that aren't the big
I'll
ones.
fight if I have to.
Maybe it's past a certain level. Cause yeah, I'm sure
I'll try to make this swift.
they get uncanny dodge. or whatever it was. It's a bandit battle. Take it out. Ah, there we go.
They go down!
Where? So yeah, it only has to be level 5, so yeah, maybe... Yeah, common trend probably also gets more common towards the end of the game, because the level 5 barbarian gets the improved uncanny dodge, meaning it can no longer be flanked. Which is fairly low when it basically turns off the... holding your action sounds very... The holding your action sound effect is way too dramatic. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Oh yeah, I kind of get what you mean. So yeah, probably a great rule of thumb for later on in the game. And generally holds true if it's a pure barbarian, which most of the things that have rage are. It's only the occasional warg that won't be a full barbarian. Also, hi Josh, how's it going?
All according to plan.
Just trying to find out how big this map is by going around the perimeter. Not too bad. I've got a bit of an upset stomach at the moment. I don't know why. Every now and again, just feeling a little bit of nausea. Twice today, I had to go lie down and so I rested off. But hopefully, it doesn't occur during stream. But I should be fine.
This is where I step in.
Charge and make it explode. I shouldn't have done it against the Alpha Borg because they're immune.
So it's come to this.
Ferocious, but it's not really going to make too much of a difference.
Let's try this way. Bring it!
Really? Your sword's not long enough? Oh wait, no, he only gets one attack because I had to stand up. Going to criticize Amory then for not being able to do multiple attacks despite being stood very close to the rest of them.
Consider me provoked.
I also, to a certain degree, need to start remembering to charge in Valerie rather than Amory. Because I'm pretty sure the AI basically picks up on whoever it sees first is the target.
Left yourself open.
And then it exploded.
Stay behind me. Huh.
You forced my hand.
This is for you!
How's the map doing? Guessing it's roughly square shaped.
A calculated risk.
Jeez, look at 4 dice. Oh wait, no. I was looking at the wrong number. Ignore me.
Tear them apart! Ah!
Let us strike as one.
I'll fight if I have to!
The hell of a 2-hit on the first attack. I actually managed to get it below 20 to hit.
They go down!
Do not falter.
I'll try to make this swift.
Well, list of immunities.
I didn't even break a sweat.
And then it exploded.
In due time. Something.
Why is it wires are always in your way, no matter where they are? Come on, get up and around there. It's an interesting thing. That's interesting.
A trivial matter.
Paizo are now following me on Twitter. My constant badgering of them every single time that I've gone live, and it's like tweeted at them. They finally got them
A
followed me.
trivial matter.
I mean, I'll count that as a success because it's not something that I expect them to do. Actually, it's all like because I am just sort of like probably one of the million different streamers out there. All playing. You know, I'm not even playing. Yeah, the game does do a fairly good job at having secret little things hidden away. I don't like the fact that they're hidden behind a perception check. In some cases. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, because they don't ever seem to be grain-breaking. Wolves have gnawed on the human corpses, but not the undead. Because it does, you know, it's like, you might as well wander everywhere and just make sure every nook and cranny of the map is as much as possible uncovered. It took many blows to drop this enormous undead enemy. The thing is, Paizo is actually kind of good if you're doing charity stuff, I've heard / seen.
This is
Geeks for Good for one of their charity drives. I can't remember which one it was, and I say Geeks for Good. It's more Half-Singer Games / Geeks for Good. They did a charity drive. Can't remember what for. Might have been Child's Play. But what they were doing for their stream was doing 8 hours of Starfinder. And they contacted Paizo about it, and it's like, hey, we're going to be streaming for charity 8 hours of Starfinder. Is there anything you can do for us? In terms of giveaways? And they basically gave them a bunch of codes for the core rulebook to give away. From what I've heard, I've not, take everything I say about that as a pinch of salt, but at the same token, it's like they do tend to support streams. I'm tempted to do stuff for charity, but I've not yet figured out what I'm going to do for charity.
This should do it.
If I do anything for charity.
You can't stop me.
Unexpected outcome.
Yeah, I have thought about the 24-hour stream.
Tear them apart.
Stay behind me!
Repent.
I'm just not entirely sure. I don't think I could sit down and play a single game for 24 hours. By the end, by the point that it got to sort of like 18 hours, I'd be sort of like, no, I'm so sick and tired and bored of this, I just want to sleep. And I'd probably just end up falling asleep in a few hours. Midway through stream. Yeah, you did a new game every hour, which is fair enough for what you wanted to do. An old boat with a large breach is rotting on the shore.
Interesting.
Not disagreeing with what you did. However, I felt like sometimes, a lot of the games that I play, I think you streamed like an hour of GTA.
That is not far.
Which is like fair enough, but how many times have you seen somebody playing GTA and it take an hour just to get into the main part of the story of it all? And
I'll try to make
anywhere
this
within the story. Unless you're playing from a saved game. I prefer to stream something that has a lot less of a lifespan on it. So, games like... That's concerning. Monster Train, Banners of Ruin, Slay the Spire. So, complete games in just a few hours.
Serves you right.
But that's not really what I've done much of on this channel. I got through about 70% of Abzu. I can't remember Abzu. I'm not sure if I was watching it at the time that you were streaming.
A calculated risk.
So it's come to this.
Is that the walking simulator one that you kind of played? Yeah, very relaxed game. I think most sensible people were sleeping at that time, which seemed like a very bad idea to schedule it in the middle of the night, when you're most likely to be fatigued. But hey ho.
For you.
So yeah, I was thinking of doing slightly longer, so like 3-hour streams of different games. But at the same token, it's one of them where it's like, at the moment, most of my community comes to watch me play Pathfinder. I think it was the first thing. Lol, I remember Sunlight at least. I mean, everybody remembers Sunlight. It's a thing that we don't get here in the UK.
This will hurt.
But yeah, most of
Repent.
my channel has been given to sort of like long haul games. So yes, I've played a couple of shorter ones.
Do not falter.
I don't know. I'm just not entirely sure if it's
Onwards.
a good idea for me to suddenly switch it up to a 24-hour stream, which is not something I usually do. I'm trying it like that. I was speaking with another streamer earlier today, and she mentioned it's like, when you do a charity stream, the best thing that you can do is actually just keep doing what you usually do. Because if anybody pops in because it's a charity stream,
Let's try this.
then they're getting a taste for what you're actually doing when it's not a charity stream, so they're more likely to stick around.
You forced my hand.
The people that you usually stream for are likely to turn up because you're doing what you usually do. And,
You can't stop me.
you know, there's a bit of weight in that, I feel. You could look for a game in your wheelhouse that has a 20 to 30 hour completion target and see if you can complete it in that time. The thing is, it's, you know, I'm pretty sure, maybe not Pathfinder Kingmaker, but others like it have like a 20 to 30 hour completion time. The only thing is, because I'm reading all of the text out loud, because I'm interacting with chat and talking at tangent at times, I'm still not entirely convinced, unless I tried to do a speed run where I briefly read things and summarize for the chat, where it's like, okay, this person's now asking me to go look for their brother. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure they're dead. Barely legible letters are carved into the stone. I don't try and read them or anything. They're barely legible, but they're still legible, apparently.
Enemy approaching.
This is
Surprise.
where I step in.
It's a crossbow to the face. And you missed. It's a miniature bandit. You still got mullet, mate.
Stay behind me.
Didn't even break a sweat.
And then it exploded. Just checked the Ocarina of Time.
Let us strike as one.
It's 27 hours to complete. I mean, by all means, you go off and do a stream for 27 hours and complete the Ocarina of Time. I probably spend half of that time wondering what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. Deep Rock Galactic Mega Stream? That's the thing. I don't think I could play a game like that for 24 hours. I just end up so fatigued. Yeah, I'm running the risk of getting fatigued after about 3 hours of it, if I'm entirely honest with you. I don't even think we played 3 hours. ...24 hours of Phasmophobia and go insane.
You deserve
I mean,
it.
again, Phasmophobia has got very limited appeal for 24 hours. In
This
24
should
hours,
do it.
if I had a brand new copy of the
A
game,
calculated
absolutely no progress, I'm pretty sure I could get to the end game content within about 24 hours. Mecca, how many hours played do you have on Phasmophobia? Yeah, the 3-hour stints is just... I don't know, it's one of them where it's like I'm trying to figure out a way of convincing myself that it's a good idea, but something that's a good idea and what I actually do. Yeah, 26 and a half hours, so in 24 hours of Phasmophobia, you could basically get to the end game content. Quite, very easily.
Bring it!
But yeah, changing the game every few hours would help.
Any last wishes?
I'm pretty sure of that. He just made himself explode.
This will hurt.
Instead of time thing, you could do other challenges. Speedruns, as you mentioned, something on extremely hard difficulties. See, I don't do well at speedruns. I'm certainly not at harder difficulties.
This is for you!
So it's come to this.
I don't know, I think it's just trying to work out what my niche is in terms of what game I want to play for a long time. There's somebody at 100%. Oh, there you are. Did not
This
see
is
you
where
there.
I step in.
Well, still, if it was co-op for parts of the stream, it would help you get it through things that you can fit them in when you feel you need the verbal interaction. Payday 2, Deep Rock Galactica, World War Z, plus the others we have not installed. Can play Hitman, Cyberpunk 27, and Hitman, and then the co-op. I mean, 3-hour streams for... off 3-hour increments.
Let's try this way. This should do it. Calm
We'll
down.
work out at 8-hour sections.
Onwards!
Could you? No, thank you. Which only means I need 8
Stay
games,
behind me!
roughly. I'm probably tempted not to put in the Pathfinder section. Simply because it's one of them where it's very plot heavy. I suppose for the those of you that are regular, streaming it on a different day for 3 hours wouldn't be the end of the world if it was for charity. But I don't know, it's rolling around in my head as soon as I've made a decision. I mean, one of the things that I might do is just do, because I've seen some streams do it. I need to talk to more people in the know with sort of like doing a week-long, you know, doing something for a charity, not actually changing your schedule, not changing anything about what you're doing, just straight up. This week, I'm raising money for a charity.
Victory!
That's a bit odd. What's this glow around them? Oh, there's a bard back there somewhere. And maybe trying it that way, where it's like, you know, hey, this week I'm doing...
I'll fight if I have to.
I'm raising money for XYZ charity. And leave it at that. The only things that I'd be tempted to do is...
A calculated
start
risk.
off the week on... You know, so like an extra hour for announcements and...
Serves you right.
So like getting the ball rolling and then finishing off the week on something like a community day. You know, if you've given to the charity over the course of the week, come join my Discord. I don't have a Discord yet, but it's one of them things that's always on my to-do list. Come join my Discord and get the code to... yeah, most of the charity websites suggest doing something like spreading the time out over a week. Yeah, the thing is, I've seen it go very well, and I've also seen it go rather depressingly.
You can't stop me.
Also, it kind of depends on which charity you're doing it for and how well that they get involved. Because I'm watching a streamer and they did a charity thing for like 2 weeks. They were originally going to do it for 1 week, but it didn't really sell all that well. So they decided to do it for 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, they were aiming to get about $1,000 and managed to get 14.
You deserved it.
Now, to be fair, there was a couple of things that were potentially wrong with that. Time of year being one of them. Just after Christmas is not the best time to be asking people for money, especially in the year-long January that most people tend to go through by the difference between paydays. And also, the charity that they were doing it on behalf didn't really get involved in any way, shape, or form. So, they weren't
Consider me provoked.
signal boosting and saying, hey, check out this stream, they're raising money for us, so go check them out. It was just like nothing, absolutely nothing. Whereas other times I've actually seen
This will hurt.
them come into the
Let's try
stream,
this
be
way.
part of the stream, so like be in the chat to answer questions as to what's going on here with the movement.
Let us strike as one.
Are we being slowed or something? Oh, we've been slowed.
Do not falter.
Oh, that's not good. Freedom of movement. There's a reason why I have this ability. I saw a YouTube with a big enough following to do a charity, and he just raided other streamers doing charity streams and got their goals met. Yeah, I mean, that's one alternative if you're a big YouTuber.
This is
for
is
you.
just go around and get other people's streams done. Which is kind of cool, but at the same token, not really something that I could probably manage.
This didn't work.
Because, you know, I don't think I've quite got that following, but at the same token, if I did mark the stream as a charity stream, then you know, that's the thing, it's like, it might just get some attention on its own. I'm actually dead, so I need to do this spell where I stand back up. Well, I'm not dead anymore, but I'm not conscious.
This was not part of the plan.
Yes, everybody point at the thing that's impossible to hit. Apart from that one time where you score a natural 20, you get.
I'll fight if I have to.
Onwards!
Can you stop that? Would be appreciated.
This is where I step in.
Tear them apart!
So slow. Nobody get any fun ideas and start shooting at Cairo. Ooh, itchy back. It's moments like, I wonder if I've got a wand of haste. Should probably check these things. Or a spell of haste. No, it's expeditious retreat. That's a scroll of haste. What wands do I have? Fireball, burning arc. There we go. Bum 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 bum. Don't know why we can't drink the Cure Serious from the ground. Surprise! I hasted myself. Apart from Lindsay, she was too far back. But it does mean I can now do this.
Look at me, Forum!
Surprise! I finally remembered I have abilities. Valerie deflects the projector. I didn't know that she had the ability to deflect projectiles. Oh well, she did do.
Stay behind me!
Serves you right.
Ring of protection. Potential. Luck and protection 3. It's +2 saving throws versus blindness. Natural armor. Yeah, I have no idea where she got the ability to deflect arrows from. Don't know.
This should do
Prepare
it.
to be murdered.
Expected outcome.
Critical hit sneak attack for 70 points of damage. Nice.
A calculated risk.
You can't stop me. Let us strike as one.
Oh wow.
Bring it!
Itchy nose.
Something bothering you?
Oof, that was a terrible one. Try better. There we go. A little bit better. Two Cyclopses are having a heated dispute in a very rough language. They stomp their feet, and pound their chests, and sputter and pay absolutely no attention to anything else around them, including yourself included. Our deflection is a type of bonus gives, not actually providing the it's just there is the deflect armor class type, but it doesn't say that it's the ability to deflect. As far as I'm aware, try to decipher their speech. You manage to make out some of the Cyclops' speech. Mine, not yours. The Cyclops is yelling and shaking his fist. I saw it first. Go away. You go away. I'm not giving it up. Move closer. The Cyclopses turn to you, furrowing their bushy brows. Hey you, insect, what are you doing? Get out of here before we step on you. What are you arguing about? What do you care, insect? I'm telling you, let everyone know what a dirtbag you are. I found the treasure. The Cyclops slams the palm against the obelisk. This Sarai wants to take it for himself. You found it? You? I found it. You weren't even here. What makes this treasure so valuable? You wouldn't understand. Right, you're not a Cyclops. What would you know of treasure? My sweet precious treasure. The Cyclops tenderly pets the obelisk with a huge hand. Hey, paws off. The second Cyclops pushes the first away from the stone. They're crackers. Perception check. Inspect the stone. You didn't notice at first, but but there seems to be a pile of Cyclopsian bones at the foot of the obelisk. They look gnawed on, and it doesn't look like it was that long ago. This has the markings of a magical trap. Try to puzzle out the Cyclops' behavior. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about the stone itself, but the Cyclopses believe it to be great treasure. It seems reminiscent of an enchantment spell. Ancient builders of this necropolis must have used the obelisk to create an inconspicuous but deadly trap. Any Cyclops who got close enough to, would stay here, enthralled by the obelisk until they fell dead from exhaustion or starvation. Fortunately for you, the spell like this typically can't target all sentient creatures, but rather needs to be keyed to a specific key to a target a specific kind of creature, for instance, Cyclopses. Use detect magic. The stone radiates powerful enchantment aura. Instead of fighting, you could share the treasure equally? Hey, this little one speaks truth. Maybe we should share it. Well, that could work, but how? I know, we'll drag it to camp where we both can admire it. Give me a hand here. Alright, good luck. While I leave you to drag off the stone to your encamp. That sounds like a good idea, because when they drag it to their encampment, it'll hold all of them under sway and potentially cause internal strife. The steps are too large for human feet. They don't look too large for human feet as far as I can see. Oh. Dread Cyclops on the stairs. Just going to ignore him for a little bit. I think... Oh. Wasn't paying attention to where I was going. More bandits! More haste! Bandit chastener. Chastener.
You deserved it.
Why me? Seriously, why me? The one in the tin can is far more deadly than I am. Or maybe the one with the big sword.
This will hurt.
If you could hit. Luckily, I seem to have a surplus of haste when I find it again. There's my haste. Oh, it has to be on a person, doesn't it? And yet again, Lindsay gets excluded.
Consider me provoked.
I'll try to make this swift.
Oh, that's annoying. I mean, it's also just damn rude.
Any last wishes?
Let's try this one.
Run! Flee for your lives, you peasants! Stop putting holes in me! Oh, Marie got actually slowed.
So it's come to this.
Yes, it has. It's come to the point in the fight where Tristan, you use a crossbow and kill somebody.
This should do it.
I think I'm actually starting to get into the point of the game where, you know, J-Station's mentioned
Calm
it a
down.
couple of times
Not
where
dead yet.
the lines that they are repeating,
Tear them apart!
such as tear them apart, ah! Blood for Gorham, and
This is for you!
this is for you, are just starting to wear on me. It's like,
Repent!
you know, the short ones like repent isn't too bad, but it just seems so repetitive.
A calculated risk.
I'm just gonna see options of sound. Occasionally. Turned it down a bit. Because yeah, you can have it constant, where every single action they take will prompt a response all the way to never. I'm flicking it down to constantly. The game will soon quiet from now on, and that'll drive me a little bit crazy, but at least it'll be a different kind of crazy. See, that's a bit annoying. It's all like a falcata, no idea, but an adamantine falcata that is a +3 is ridiculous. You know, it's a nice weapon. The thing is, I have no idea who can use a falcata, and even if somebody can use a falcata, am I really wanting to respec them and use it at this point in time? Although what I might do is I might just... No, can't even use it. It's an exotic proficiency group. So I think you even have to name it in its entirety just to be able to be proficient with it. Yeah, exotic needs a feat. And is it, are you proficient with all exotic when you choose it, or do you need to choose a specific named weapon in the exotic branch, as it were? Why can't I?
Right here, my friend.
Tristan's oh no, there we go. Yeah, per weapon, so, you know, would need to name it. And there, I've got no focuses, I've got no improved critical, I got no specialized feats for the falcata. So, despite the fact that it's adamantine plus 3 falcata, it means that it is 90% useless in my hands because
This will
nobody's going to be using it. But an adamantine plus 3 is actually a really nice weapon, even if it doesn't have any fancy abilities on it. Too much. It will still cut through most damage resistances. It's a plus 3 to hit and to damage, so that's a sizable bonus compared to what a lot of them are using.
Do not falter!
We're still in combat with something. Something going to show itself? Oh. It's all the way over. Oh, no. We got more than one. Oh. Forgotten what the button is to get them to suddenly stop when I make a mistake in the movement.
I'll fight if I have to. This is where I step in.
Gee, okay. One of them, I moved Valerie, Octavia around and it was all, is it Q, is it H? No, it's G. But by the time that I got around to trying that one, well, I wouldn't even bother to have tried that one. I was too busy trying everything else.
This way.
Her movement was over.
Serves you right. I'm good.
Training pays off.
See, they're coming out with phrases now that I don't think I've ever actually heard. You know, training pays off and I'm good or whatever Lindsay said. Yeah, I'm guessing it's what she says when she crits. But I'm guessing it's not one of them where it's like as not to interrupt themselves. If they're currently playing an audio clip, then it doesn't play another audio clip. And because they're nearly always playing an audio clip. Oh yeah, oh no, it's been, right. Is that actually a door? A huge stone slab blocks entrance to this tomb. The ancient stone surface is covered with The ancient stone surface is covered in worn inscriptions, barely visible beneath the moss. Examine the entrance. The crumbling ancient stone is densely covered with thick moss. Near the edges of the slab, some of the moss has been torn. By some unknown force, it must have been moved aside and then replaced. Read the inscriptions. You stare at the symbols on the worn stone for a long, long time, but they won't reveal their secrets. Speak the word Kleb. The slab slides aside easily and noiselessly, making a crack wide enough for you to enter. Before you have a chance to take a single step, a voice calls out from inside the tomb. Wait! Do not enter. Prop the door, or it will close behind you. Unwilling to tempt fate, you move a large stone in the entrance and prop the door open. Use detect magic. Leave, because I don't want to go in there yet. Deface sister. Ah, there was a fireball trap. Moments like this where you wish you could rotate the camera around. Just about ready to go in there, but do. The poor soul's skull has been crushed, and the brain was removed. When you say the brain was removed, was that before or after it got crushed?
It is finished.
So there's a trap this side too, but no loot. I'm disappointed. Yeah, it'd be nice to zoom out further and be able to rotate my way around this building. Enter. After ensuring the slab won't close itself behind you, you step into the damp, cold darkness of the tomb. Boom, boom, boom. I got a feeling I should have probably rested before trying this. Oh well, I'm in here now. Oh, a defaced sister is coming to meet me. The only breathing creature in this ancient tomb is a miniature woman wrapped in a grey cloak. She looks like a ghost herself. Who are you?
I'm one of the defaced sisters, a humble servant of benevolent spirits. No words can express my gratitude for saving me.
What is this place?
Once, Cyclopses used to own these lands, but their race was doomed to extinction. Their fortresses and palaces crumbled into dust, and only tombs remain.
What are you doing here?
Same as you, searching for the truth. My fate brought me here and opened the door before me. I didn't know it would slam shut behind my back. If fate didn't bring you here right after me, I would soon fall asleep beside the owners of this tomb.
What is your quest? What is the average speed of an unladen swallow? It's the plural of Cyclops. It's the plural of Cyclopses. These are all good questions. I will answer in reverse order. African or European? To finish this game, I don't know. Do you know anything about what happened in Varnhold?
Varnhold. I don't know much about the place, but ice-cold winds of ill fate blow over it. If my sisters are still alive, we can tell you more together.
One of you might be dead. Just saying. Does the word Vordakai mean anything to you?
Lips of mortals didn't utter this word for thousands of years. It would be for the best if it remained so. Don't worry about this shadow of the past. It dispersed forever the day the sky fell upon the earth.
Skyfall, by the way, is a event that happened in Pathfinder history. I think it's either 1,000 or 10,000 years ago. There was a world killer sized asteroid that hit the planet. Whether it was natural or manufactured, I don't quite know. A number of races got wiped out around about that time. I'm guessing I'm guessing it was 1,000 years ago that it happened. No need to explain, Chiron. Adele told us about it. I have a feeling, just because it's you, Jay, saying this, this is an obscure Bond reference to Skyfall. And Adele sung the song for that particular Bond movie? Random guesswork? I don't know what you're on about. Your sister has sent me. She is waiting for you in the camp.
Thank you. I was afraid I'd never see her again. Let benevolent spirits guide you on your path. Let them help you, just like you helped me.
The woman gives you a bow and leaves the tomb. Another sister went into the sepulchre of forgotten heroes. I've already been to that one. I've done these in totally the wrong order by the looks of it. The third sister went into the city of Hollow Eyes, which is where I'm at now. You do really need a point thing or emote for getting pop culture references. Was I right in that guess? I honestly have no idea whether I got it or whether it was actually just pure guesswork. Because I'm pretty sure that there's a singer called Adele, and there's a Bond movie called Skyfall. And this is you I'm talking to, so it has to be an obscure reference like that, not something simple. Like there's another Twitch streamer out there called Adele who went over this in great detail that you all seem to follow as well as me. That would be an obvious explanation. The stone face gazes at you from the wall. Well, stare at me while I loot your stuff. This is not a big map. Which is good, because I'm totally underprepared for most of this. Although it could get a lot deeper.
A trivial matter.
Where the blue blazer did you come from?
You can't stop me!
And could you go back there? See, somebody ran up to you. I mean, coming towards me just so I can stab you is nice. If I could hit, and there we go, one hit at least. Let's see if we can knock down a Cyclops. Guess not.
You forced my hand.
Freedom of movement lasts hours. I'm guessing it's about 10 minutes an hour. 10 minutes a level? Ooh. The container is full of sealed clay jars, each decorated with pictures of internal
All
organs.
according to plan.
Because that's what everybody wants on a nice little vase. Pictures of internal organs. The door cannot be opened. It is fake, just a carving on the wall. Leave. I'm carrying £1,000 worth of stuff. Bum 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 bum.
I was right when I saw you the first time. You're a thief, same as every one of your kin.
I mean, it was just lying around, nobody was using it. Why do you call me a thief?
You think you've done a right thing, saved a life, but all that you did was help a thief take what wasn't hers in the first place. You're no better than that filthy creature.
Why are you following me? What do you want?
I have watched you, your behavior, your deeds. Don't flatter yourself thinking your actions are impressive. You're an oddity, a curiosity, a mark. Nothing more.
Enough, I'm leaving. The raven flaps its wings and flies off. In moments it's gone. What will you spend your £1,000 on? Buying or getting somebody to program up a algorithm to make sense of you sometimes and your obscure references, and it's not like, what will you? It's not £1,000. It's £1,000 of weight, not £1,000 of anything. Pounds don't. Well, actually, they do. I found out something semi-interesting, is that Earth does technically exist in the the Pathfinder universe. And in theory in the Starfinder universe, but not entirely sure when the Starfinder universe is actually set, so who knows. Ah, there you are, good job. Shame the rest of the group is gone, but at least the witch was intact. Here, for your trouble. We should leave now, visit our camp sometime. We'll share a drink. I was trying to leave. I mean, you were around the campfire the last I checked. Also, you wasted an entire thing and left a dog behind. What kind of monsters are you people? Mr. Lootable. Blah, 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 blah. Well, they left it behind. It's a free-for-all. Right, just one more place to go off and investigate, but let's go back to town and sell off all of this junk. Manage. What's that one? Ooh. Caneberry pie provides you with fast healing 1 for a day. Now, that's not a great amount, but it's still a fast healing 1. The whole day is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's really good. It's not great, but at the same token, it's you just need to get yourself a little ways out of combat and, well, 1 second. 169 multiplied by 6 divided by 60. Yeah, it'd take 15 minutes of basically real time for Amory's health to be back up from 0. But compared to not having the fast healing and having the fast healing. Right, more fish on a stick for everybody.
You prayed to your goddess with such devotion, but you never accused me of apostasy like other priests. I appreciate that.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's better you leave than to stay and lie to yourself and your deity.
I wonder why the hunter has to go foraging if the cook is cooking something that we have in our backpacks. Is it me or does that sound like a different voice actor for her? I mean, I don't feel that way. I feel that her tone has changed ever since... See, I've done a lot of things. Yeah, ever since I finished burning bridges and talked to Valerie about so like she needs to calm down because she's going to alienate the people around her. She seems to have... Yeah, the one where she was having a go at everybody. She seems to have calmed down a bit, which would indicate potentially a change in tone. Munguk's drunken rage. Success! Mungut has been exiled from your lands. Your people are sighing with relief. Yay! I have no more problems to deal with. I've got to be involved with that one. Continue.
I need to catch my breath.
God, we are moving so slowly. Trail of misfortune. Take what? Stop. Journal. Turns out that a band of Fae from a nearby forest is to blame for all the misfortune. It's high time these tricksters were paid a visit. One of the Baron's advisors has to face this crisis and make sense of the situation. A whole chain of inexplicable and unfortunate events has struck the settlement. Tools and foodstuffs keep disappearing. Hunters get lost in the forest like that they know like the back of their hand. Homesteads are flooded with water rising from the well. It was revealed to the high priest in a dream that the local cleric of Estrel fell in love with a young peasant girl and killed her fiancé in a jealous rage. The god's followers found the dead body in the forest, brought the murderer to justice, and Estrel's good graces were restored. Mysterious complaints are arising from a region where Chemo Traven had recently settled. Blah blah blah. Deep in the night, a couple of watchmen noticed a nymph sneaking into the village with a bucket of tar. The miscreant was able to escape capture, but it seems that the Fae are to blame for the villagers' troubles. But what could they be hiding? Tristan, go deal with the food problem. Is that actually something that I need to deal with on the map? Norwood. No, it was Silvershire. Shambling Steps. Gnarlkeep. Loachingdale. You know, when I thought this game was really obscure and didn't really give me much to go off at times. And then all of a sudden, it seems to have kicked it up a notch. And it's like, where? Take care of the Fae, where? It said in that complete thing, a town that I've never even heard of. And it's not a town that I actually own. There's no exclamation mark on the map. Although, was it where somebody had settled? Which I think... Was it... Yeah, if you could. A trail of misfortune. Take care of the Fae. Probably. I have a feeling that it's where somebody settled, which is... People have been arriving in the order that I've built the settlements. So I have a feeling that it's going to be one of my settlements that I built last. Which I think is the one up north. But unless it's a named place. You know, let me know if it's a named place. I've just realised that I can move a map around really quickly by pressing and holding the middle mouse button, even on this screen. Yeah, where the Master Chemo Traven recently settled. Which I think is my village up north. I think. Here are some relics. Give me monies. I found shards. Any of them good for you? No? Okay. Let's actually do... No, let's go sort out the inventory first. So it's near the Temple of the Owlcat, I think. Okay, yeah, I think... Yeah, I think that's where I settled the town recently. So the NPCs... See, I wasn't sure whether the NPCs were arriving in order of where I settled. So, the first one, every time you settle a village, it seems like another master of a trade comes forward. When you settle the first town, which is up near Oleg's trading post, Borken from Oleg's trading post comes up to you and says, I'll work for you if you give me the money for a workshop. And in general you agree because it's useful having a alchemist on the books. 5.5 grand and just going straight down the drain. Whee. I'm rich. Dagger +1. I mean, I'm being kind of careful, so I'm pretty sure these are just junk. Ooh. That's actually made out of adamantine. What is it? Longsword. Where did I pick that up? Huh. The Furious bonus is only good for Amory, but I'm probably going to give it to Valerie just in case. Vast intelligence. Yeah. Cloak of resistance. Offer up the junk, of which there was a lot. Several pounds of gems. 36 pounds of warg pelts and 40 pounds of manticore pelts. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the whole tick 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 is a stock audio deal. You know, kind of like the Wilhelm screen. What? No, I don't want whatever I've just picked up. I want the sword. Just in case something is resistant to adamantine. Like I've got the cold iron. Again, another one of them 9 things. She comes baked in with a weapon proficiency bastard sword. Most of a decent, you know, I found a cold iron longsword and I found an adamantine longsword. So far, the best I've got is a flaming bastard sword +1. But because she's specialised in bastard swords, she gets a +1 on the focus of that. And also I believe she's now got, you know, the improved critical bastard sword, weapon focus bastard sword. Maybe some other stuff related to bastard sword. Ooh. Here we go. Josh, we were talking earlier about the deflect. You must be using a shield to use this feat. Once per round, when you would normally be hit with an attack from a ranged. What is wrong with me? A ranged weapon, not including spell effects, natural attacks, or massive ranged weapons. You may deflect it so long as you take no damage. So that you take no damage, as if you had the deflect arrows feat. You must be aware of the attack and not flat-footed. That's how they that's how Valerie managed to deflect that missile. It's probably happened like 1,000,000 times before now. I've just never noticed it. It just seemed odd because it was like miss, miss, miss. And then the guy finally hit, and I looked down, and it said missile deflected. So yeah, it's a feat. Not sure if it has any prerequisites of like. Does it tell you about prerequisites in these? No, it doesn't. So yeah, like it says, it's only good for 1 missile around, so it's not potentially great if you're going up against, you know, Ekundeo. It would be terrible for that because he is a master shot with that with a bow, and because he gets multiple attacks around the first one, yeah, you deflect that, but then he's just gonna hammer you for the rest. But at the same token, you know, it is nice to have because it's all about negating the little bits of damage. You know, Valerie's and Amory's survivability are so much higher, even though, You know, they've got a lot of hit points, but when Valerie does get hit because of her adamantine armor, she reduces the damage by 3, just straight off the bat. So yeah, Temple of the Elk is in the North Narm Arches, which is where I settled Talzifod. And of course, the moment I step away from the kingdom, something happens. The People's Wrath. There has been a riot in the region. People are rebelling against the corrupt mayor. Their accusations may be justified, or they may be nothing but baseless defamation. This must be decided and dealt with. The region requires a stable administration, or the rioting will spread soon. You're not going, you're terrible at that. I got a few days, I got like 12 days. I do not have very long to deal with that. Why can I not send Valerie? Can I switch him out for Valerie? Where is he? No. And you are the best out of the people that I can... Peasant. Or does Valerie need to come out of that position? No, you can... No, good. See, it depends on if that's based on an English calendar with 31 days, or whether that's based on a 30-day calendar. Could give him a couple of crisis points, but they're expensive. You're so useful, useless, Creston. I shall think about that one. Continue on. Doop 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 doop. Oh, it's you. Please accept my gratitude for the workshop. The house is beautiful, the neighbours are wonderful, and everyone is so kind and friendly. I'm flooded with orders, and I think, and to think I could still be rotting away in the jail for a false accusation. What did you want to tell me? I beg your forgiveness, Your Grace, for making you come all the way to our distant region, but there are too many guards in the palace that were chasing me recently. The thing is, I think I know who wrongfully accused me. There's a tailor in the capital. His name is Morhalan. He has the reputation of a brilliant master, so I wanted to become his apprentice. But when I went to his workshop, in his workshop I saw things which alarmed me very much. Vests, shoes, gloves, all made from reptile skin. But the pattern was distinct. I've only seen the pattern on lizard folk, intelligent beings who could also live in the stolen lands as far as I know. I tried asking Morhalan about it, but he threw me out into the cold. And when I tried to start my own business and open a shop, I was literally driven out of the capital. You'll hardly take my word for it, but it's true. A master tailor in the capital is butchering lizard folk and making clothing from their skins. I'm no tracker. I can't go hunting down Morhalan's poachers. But you could. If you could only find those murderers in the marshes and bring some evidence, the guard will take this seriously, and will rid the capital of great evil. Why would I need to get the guard involved? To a certain degree, until I am the lord of this place. If I deem somebody worthy of execution and or exile, I can just go up to them and execute them or exile them accordingly. Why do I need to gather evidence for the guards? Alright, I'll track down the hunters. Thank God. I'm sorry I cannot say exactly where to find the wretches, but I'm certain they must be hunting in the Nile marshes. That's where you'll find them. I have to go. Happy to see you anytime. Okay. You've got a name. You're just a trader. You have nothing of interest.
As it should be.
This town doesn't even have a bloody well. I'm going to go into the one building that there is. There is nobody in this building. There is nothing to interact with in this building. This building is pointless. Talk to the priest. God, tell me about the Fae that have been interrupting these lands. I came all the way out here to see you. There's a pub that I can't get into. Everybody just says greetings.
In due time.
I'm guessing this takes me to the world map. Taking a long time to save these days. Yes, this took me to the world map. What? I swear down, this game gives me a headache some days. J Station, are you still around? So, the town for the Trail of the Misfortune. From a nearby forest. So there's the Temple of the Elk, which I'm near. Or is there a location that I'm supposed to go to around here? I suppose I could go to the... I'm going to go to the Old Oak and see what's there, but... If you could see if there's any more of a clue as to where I'm supposed to go for this bleeding... A Trail of Misfortune in the Fae? Greetings, Fae. Come out, wherever you're hiding. Oh. It's a man-eater troll. Well, I suppose you're gonna have to die.
Tear them apart!
Supplies! How are you not dead? I don't think the troll counted as a favour I'm after.
That is not far. Blood for gore!
Surprise! Oh no, a terrifying croak.
Consider me provoked.
Looks like they croaked it after all, but tish. Okay, so the Fae aren't here. I mean, this is a bit far away from the town. Have I been... One moment, I'm getting a random encounter. Randomly. This side of the world, it's possibly just going to be goblins.
I know what to do.
I've not been to this map before. Oh, it's approaches. Well, a poacher alchemist. Can you step forward just a little bit? And then charge. Possibly should have moved everybody else up a little bit more before doing that. But oh well. I mean,
You
it's
deserved it.
not my fault the game declared them enemies before, you know, I had chance to talk them.
This is for you.
They go down!
I'll try to make this swift.
Ha!
Ooh, they're a little on the tough side. Come on, blows all of them. Oh, greater invisibility. That might be a problem. Clear the dust. Why do you move so slowly? Oh, you're fatigued. Okay. You're no longer really invisible.
I'll fight if I have to.
See? You're glowing. You're practically glowing.
Saren Ray, be generous to them, for I am not.
This should do it.
Oh, it's 67 damage. I thought you said 167 damage then.
Onwards!
I made them glowing blue and you still managed to hit. Miss. Die of embarrassment because you know that you just got killed by a bard. Lizard folk skins. Scaly skin flayed by a ruthless butcher. Dun dun dun! That's the evidence that I needed. I can swap around measures like reach in combat. Oh yeah, I suppose. See, I think to a certain degree, there's something about games like this where it's like, I think I could possibly get away with increasing the difficulty, but having to pay so much more attention to exactly what it is that I'm doing. Because I'm not even sure if I have the reach rod at the moment. I've got the extend and I've got the quicken. I've got the empower and I've got the maximize. Might be worth, as you say, getting a rod of reach and giving it to Lindsay to compensate for the fact that she's got short legs. Tusk Gutter's Lair. I've been there before.
I'm hungry. When
stop.
we stop?
A fake lid has just popped up on my map. Woo. Yeah, I'll just leave it on the fish sticks. Bum ba bum. Right, so go back this way. Try to figure out how to get to this glade. Ah, there we go. Enter the location. Suppose it makes sense that it's not revealed it sooner because this is supposed to be a higher level quest, I'm guessing. Reckless Satyr Bowman. Get lost. Go talk to that elf of yours. See if I care. A foul, nauseating stench of morning after breath permeates the glade. Fae of all sizes and shapes litter the ground, sleeping on the grass side by side, some of them scarcely clothed. A drowsy satyr squints in pain and shifts his heavy gaze to you. Curses! Who is it? Who's there? Baron Chiron, rightful ruler of these lands. Ha! With a muzzle like that, I could, you could at least file the tusks down first. Wow. Racist. In a loud voice. Why in a loud voice? How can I persuade you to allow the villagers to live in peace and depart these lands for God? I was just passing through when I saw you, and I thought to myself, why I should come pay my respects. The satyr hisses, covers his eyes with his hand. In the name of all that is good and fair, lower your voice. All right. Sorry about that. The satyr sighs in release, massaging his temples. Why do you keep upsetting the locals? Some of them forgot their place. We won't stand by while some pointy-eared oaf frolics with our girls. What are you talking about? The satyr waves his hand at you dismissively. I'm not bowing to you. You've no power over me. How can I persuade you to allow the villagers to live in the peace and depart these lands for good? The satyr stares at you with an expression of pure agony on his face. Gah, what the hell? I couldn't care less about your damn villagers. My head's splitting in two. Just bring me a drink. The poison is the cure, you know. You bring me a drink and I'll take the gang home. It's not like I'm ever going to change her mind, that scatterbrain. Pass the bottle to the satyr. What bottle? Yes, does seem to be hungover. The shouting at him was basically just to annoy him, but what bottle of alcohol do I mean, I might have several bottles of alcohol. I forget what I'm carrying. Here's your medicine. Huh, not bad. No fun playing tricks on those dim-witted farmers anyway. Farewell, then. I'm not going to miss your face. Lost wine. I was carrying wine. Bottle of Sailorade. Tish. Baring his teeth with a grin, the satyr reluctantly rises. Rise and shine, you drunkards. We're going home. Oh, my head. I've just come out to the middle of nowhere to break up a party. And found a cooking ingredient which is first world fruit worth 1,000 gold. Well, alright then. Suppose I shouldn't complain too loudly. There's the edge of the map. Is that it? Down here, that's done. Right. Oh, we need to go back to the town to show him what we found. Because apparently he, next morning, so... Who exactly fried the tomato worth 1,000 gold? I mean, I'm very much of the opinion of, so like, especially with how much gold I have. Which is 195,000 gold pieces. Pathfinder weight of gold piece. Pretty sure. No. A standard coin weighs about 1/3 of an ounce. 50 to the pound. So how many gold pieces did I say I had? 159,107. Divide by 50. I've got 3,902 pounds of gold. I really don't think I care if the fruit that my people eat is worth 1,000 of that. You know, just I hope they enjoy it. However, it's like, okay, come back to this guy who has absolutely no authority over anybody. Look at these skins. They were stripped off murdered lizards. Cheryl looks frightened. He touches the skin with evident disgust. They were skinned very skillfully, no doubt about it, but the butchers meant to use the skins for leather work. If they were just trying to scare somebody with bloody murder, they would have made more cuts. But here they made the least. The butcher was clearly saving the skin. I was right. Morhalan was buying the skins of lizard folk. He's a monster. Thank you for your support. Now I have all the evidence I need. Now I've taken too much of your time already. I will go to the guards and see the monster arrested myself. The half-elf puts a hand on his heart. I'm happy to see you at any time. Wait for Morhalan's arrest. Okay. I still don't see why I've not just walked up to this guy and had him arrested or exiled or executed. Am I not in charge around here? Apparently not. Back to Lochingdale. Enter this location. Go to the throne room. I require a nap. I like that in D&D got the 20 silver to a gold right. They got electrum ratio wrong though. I don't know about different editions of D&D, but yes, they've got the electrum a little bit weird. But in 5th edition, it is 10 copper to 1 silver, 10 silver to 1 gold, 10 gold to 1 platinum. And electrum is somewhere massacred in the middle of silver and gold. But it's not a 10 for 10 ratio. It's 5 silver pieces to an electrum, 2 electrum pieces to a gold. The thing is, when talking to 2 gold for an electrum, no, wrong way around, 2 electrum for a 1 gold. Yeah, if you want to look at it that way. The thing is, the coinage is a little bit weird because it's not, you know, it's like copper pieces, silver pieces. The electrum is weird because it doesn't fit the same ratios. And so it makes it more convoluted for paying for anything because most of the stuff in the book is listed by either silver pieces or gold pieces. So you either want to pay 1 gold piece or 10 silver pieces. Nobody thinks to spend 2 electrum pieces for 1 gold piece. It doesn't flow as easily. And the prices I don't feel are granular enough to justify, especially seeing as though not many GMs actually consider the weight of money. You know, like I just mentioned, my party is currently running around with 195,107 gold pieces. Which at a standard coin weighing 1/3 of an ounce, 50 to the pound, means they're wandering around with £1,000 worth of gold. If I'm wandering around with £1,000 of anything, my party is considered overburdened. But gold isn't factored into that. So why would you bother with carrying around electrum pieces to save on weight when you could just carry around 10 silver pieces and have the granularity to spend 5 of them or 6 of them or 4 of them without having to get change? It's one of those where I feel if they could make it some easy way of keeping track of overburdened and the like on a character sheet with just pen and paper, it might be worthwhile getting into these kind of discussions with people. Because then you do, you know, one of the things that I will often try to do in D&D especially is because you buy the equipment that you need and then you're just chasing after magical items, which in standard D&D you can't just walk up to somebody and buy. You have to find them out in the wilds, in dungeons. So you end up with a lot of gold that's sat around doing nothing. So one of my things when I'm playing D&D is I try to say, okay, I've got 6,000 gold pieces. I'm going to try to invest the gold into something. One, that means that I'm then starting to make an income. I have a place of refuge. I have a retirement plan, that kind of thing. But it also then means I'm not carrying around this massive sack of 6,000 gold or 600 platinum pieces. Tend to reward with gems and valuables and keep gold down to smaller numbers. Whenever they find a haul of coins, it's the time to work out who's carrying the big chests. Yeah, and this is the thing, is in your case, you're basically saying, yeah, you've got this much gold, but and so they're hauling that around. But what do you do to actually make sure that they spend that, or store it somewhere, or make sure that they spend it down to just a handful of coins each time they leave town? Because it's one thing I will say, it'd be nice if there was some easy way to factor it into the weight so that you could take a look at somebody's character sheet and go, yes, you're overburdened, or no, you're not overburdened, without having to go through every last little piece of equipment and go, this weighs this much, this weighs this much. In D&D, they've got it still listed by the pound, which makes it very awkward because I think it's by the pound is the smallest increment they go to. If it's anything less than a pound, you'll usually find, it's 1,000 ball bearings, which weighs a pound, or it marks it as negligible. It doesn't effectively weigh anything, which is kind of fair enough. In Starfinder, they have a similar situation where they've done some work to abstract it, so everything is considered a bulk. A bulk is 1. You can carry half your strength score before you're overburdened, or before you're encumbered. Your strength score to be overburdened, and they have basically a dash which is negligible, which covers a lot more than it would in D&D. An L to say it's lightweight, and you can have 10 lightweights for 1 bulk. And basically everything is an increment of 1 bulk. So if it's a big, massive laser cannon, then it might be 3 bulk. If it's yeah, thankfully for Roll20, 5e sheets keeps log of the total weight. I just added the item to the top of the list to show the total carry weight. To be fair, standard D&D carry weight is way overblown anyway. Yeah, the standard carry weight in D&D, one of the things is not many people in D&D make use of the optional rules about carry weight. And it does seem a little bit odd that some of the pre-generated character sheets, as well as the standard equipment for a cleric that isn't focusing in strength, will actually make them overburdened. So where they got these numbers, and it kind of makes sense, in Pathfinder with Valerie, until I got that hat that allowed her to carry 200 pounds more bulk, for more weight, she was overburdened carrying around a carrying around a tower shield, her armor, and a weapon basically puts her over her weight limit. And especially if you're carrying around multiple items, rings, cloaks, blah, blah, blah. And it has an impact. It slows them down. In the tabletop one, because not many people pay attention to how much they're carrying, they don't really pay attention to when they're overburdened, or when they should be moving slower, when they should have penalties to it. I don't think the penalties in 5th edition are all that harsh. I found myself watching a vid on Old English Money. I didn't know which edition had 20 to 1. I did not know Electrum was a mix of gold and silver. I thought it was made up. Yeah, I thought the same until I actually found that it's a alloy of gold and silver, which was kind of interesting. So it's actually a real world thing. But by the same token, I've never in real life come across anything that is made of Electrum. I'm trying to find the rules on. So yeah, if your character weight exceeds 5 times the strength score, you are encumbered, which means you drop your speed by 10 feet. If it's in excess of 20 times, you are heavily encumbered, and your speed drops by 20 feet, and you have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws that use strength, dex, and constitution. But then it does absolute. Oh no, your carrying capacity. Your carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15. Yeah, it's not that bad, and to become overburdened to the point where you can't move, it's not a bad number. And yes, I think that it should be factored in more into games, because it's like, yes, you can be carrying so much that you can't run around the battlefield as much as you do, or players currently do, without paying attention to the weight rules. But at the same token, convincing players around the table to keep track of things, especially if you want to factor in the weight of money. This is a video game where it could keep track of how much gold I have and how much gold I'm carrying around. And they've not even bothered to factor it into this. Dragon bows from the waist to address you ceremoniously. Greetings, your grace. By tradition, if a worthy ruler is patron to a master, the master gives generously in return. I've come to honor this tradition. Please accept this. I worked hard on it. I hope it serves you well. Opportunist and Dwarven War Axe. Thank you for your gift. It's a pleasure to work for you, for such an honorable lord. Please be the only person disturbing me today. Thank you. What's opportunist? Deals 9 additional damage on a successful critical hit and grants the wielder the ability to cast Flare twice per day as a level 1 wizard. Whenever making a full attack, the wielder of the speed weapon may make 1 extra attack with it. The attack uses the wielder's full base attack bonus plus any modifiers appropriate to the situation. This benefit is not cumulative with similar effects such as the haste spell. That's an interesting thing. I mean, nobody, I think, can use it. Not even sure if Harm can use it. And he's a dwarf. But yeah, I should be massively overburdened by how much weight I'm carrying around. It's factoring in the fun of it too, though. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Nobody really wants to, you know, a lot of the time in a lot of D&D and Starfinder that I've played, certainly, is the amount you have to eat, the amount that you're carrying is fairly well hand-waved. I mean, yes, if you pick up a chest that is full of coins, then maybe you'll say that this person is carrying the chest, and that is all they can carry. If you get into a combat situation, or if they get into a tricky situation, then they're the one carrying the chest. That's fair enough. Okay, I'm going to be wrapping up the stream, but let's just switch to the... Okay, that's that saved, and let's switch to just talking, and... I shut down Groove. Let's have some background music on. So yeah, you know, constantly having to remind the players, it's like, oh, check your weight limits, double check that you're not carrying too much, and the rest of it can sort of like drag down a game. So, and it's like, oh, you know, how much food are you carrying? Where are you getting your food from? Are you going hunting for it? It's not what a lot of gamers want it to be about. But at the same token, if you were to play a survival kind of game, I think watching the carry weight, especially if you started factoring in certain things. For example, when you roll a natural 1, roll again. If you get a second natural 1 in a row, your weapon is broken. What are you now doing for a spare weapon? If you're paying attention to carry weight, then carrying around a spare weapon, especially if you factor in large weapons. You know, who wants to be carrying around 2 greatswords? Who wants to be carrying around a great axe and a greatsword, or anything of substantially large weight? You wouldn't if you're paying attention to all the nuances of weight management. But at the same token, if you're factoring in that the weapons break, then they're going to want to have some kind of backup weapon. They're going to be wanting to carry around food and other supplies that they might need. You know, having a bedroll, having a tent, having a spare weapon, having the tools to maintain armor. That could make for an interesting campaign. but only if you can make it easy enough to track people's weight and carry capacity, so that it isn't a constant sort of like 20 minutes at the start of each session. It's like, okay, last session we had a bit of a boss fight and some loot was divvied up. You've decided to keep some of it. Please, everybody, make sure that you go through your character sheets and update them to make sure that you're not overburdened or over encumbered or unable to move. A lot of players are going to get fed up of doing that math, and they're either going to figure out a way around it, which is, you know, keep a running total and make sure that that running total is very up to date. And then, you know, you can sort of like factor in things like money and how much that's weighing them down. And if it's a survival thing, it's like, yeah, you might have worked hard for this 100 gold, but who wants to be the one to carry it around when it's going to push somebody overburdened? Do you really need it? Do you really think that there's a shop on the horizon where you can restock them some of the stuff that has currently broken on you? That kind of playthrough could be interesting. It's not something that I feel that I would GM, because I would suck at making sure that the players are following the guidance on, you know, so like make sure your weight, make sure you're factoring in the weight of the coins, and putting enough pressure on them to make them feel like this is a situation where things are going to break. You know, like with the weapons, if somebody hits you for a natural 20, they roll again. If it's 2 natural 20s in a row, then your armor starts to break. If it's 2 natural 1s in a row, then your weapon starts to break. Meaning that people might have to consider carrying around stuff that they wouldn't usually carry around in a D&D game, because, you know, at the end of the day, in a D&D game, more often than not, you know, it's like you're about 5 minutes away from any given town, and it's like, my armor's broke, we're gonna have to back up out of this dungeon, you know, and figure something out, or we're gonna have to struggle through this small bit without me wearing armor to finish off this dungeon so that we can go back to town and I get this thing patched up. It also then increases the value of trivial little items such as clothes of mending, weapons of mending. It makes a mending smell infinitely more useful to have, forcing the players to take a 10-minute rest. But is that 10-minute rest going to factor into something else? Is it going to be that you're now having to roll on a random encounters table and see if something disturbs that 10 minutes, where, you know, everybody's lazing around, maybe somebody's on guard, but at the same token, one of you is without a weapon if it happens within the 10-minute time frame. Are you carrying around additional weapons? Where are you shopping? Where are you getting food from? When are you going to be able to take care of a lot of these things? Yes, it seems like it's excessive, but at the same token, I feel that it would really... And anybody who's here, feel free to chip in with your thoughts, but it's like, I feel that it could make for a very interesting campaign. But I also feel that it would be one of those campaigns which it is very laborious. I'd personally prefer to do it on something like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, where you can have it keeping track of weight and things like that. There was a nice bit of RP in my Warlock player that was dangerously close to being encumbered, even in 5e's generous offering, as they had hold of their old armor that was no longer wearing, but as a street urchin they would never let anything go that was worth a few gold if they could sell it, as it's a few days worth of food, at least back on the streets. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, you know, you can players can sort of like have things of sentimental value which they don't want to give up. But at the same token, it then also encourages them to have some place to store things, some place to invest in. You know, it could just be that you have a local town and there is a bank there with deposit boxes that are essentially bags of holding that you rent out for a couple of silver pieces a week. And as part of that, you know, they'll always keep wanting to return back to this town to make sure that the bank is still there and they have access to these things. Or, you know, when they do move from one town to another, they've got to think, okay, I've got to get a wagon and some horses and load everything up and move it to the next place along. They might decide to buy a home and settle down in around a village. You know, there's certainly in a lot of the D&D that I've played, and this isn't anything against the GMs who have been running it or anything like that. It always feels like that the heroes are very transitory, moving their way through places without much in terms of settling down, finding, you know, establishments. Like I say, with the amount of gold that I'm carrying, one of the things that Pathfinder Kingmaker does is you can purchase build points for gold. If it was telling me that I was carrying 1,000 weight and that 1,000 weight is in gold, I would do a lot more converting the gold over to build points. Which then leaves me with a tricky situation. Something new comes on the market in a merchant shop that I want to purchase. How much gold is that likely to be? How quickly can I make that gold? And how frequently do the shops change? At the moment, I don't think any of that stuff is factored into Kingmaker. Don't say as I blame them. I don't think that it's a design flaw. A lot of games are like that. But at the same token, it could add interesting mechanics to the game that haven't previously been considered. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for now. Again, you know, that is a great RP reason as why they would never sell certain things, and being over encumbered can be a tricky situation. All the better when it's self-inflicted like that. So, okay, if you want further discussions about Dungeons and Dragons and things like that, Pathfinder Games is actually changing up their schedule a bit. And this evening, I don't believe that they're playing Starfound. Pathfinder Games is actually doing sort of like a D&D themed. I'm not entirely sure whether this is their sort of like world building stuff, or whether this is their around the hearth talk show discussion with other players' GMs. But that's what they're currently doing, so we're gonna go raid them. Oh yeah, right. Must remember to do this. Don't forget to drop us a like. If you feel like giving me money, give me a subscription. I'll be back on tomorrow, where I am playing Hitman, which is just a sudden thing. So my schedule down below is incorrect. But it is the correct time. I need to change that. I'll be playing Hitman tomorrow. I play Cyberpunk 2077 on Mondays, and I'll be back with Pathfinder Kingmaker on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and finally I'll be playing co-op games with not Kichi Neko anymore. He's referred to as my cat. A co-op game on Saturday, possibly more Deep Rock Galactica, possibly something else, really not decided yet. And yeah, it starts tomorrow. Why not start tomorrow? I don't think before Hitman 3 starts with the elusive... yeah, we never decide in time. I don't think Hitman Elusive Targets is going to wait for me to finish playing Cyberpunk 2077, and so I'll just start it up tomorrow. I think I've still got my stream set up. It might look like it's for Hitman 2, it's for Hitman 3, but if I get time, I'll sort that out. If I don't, then it'll just be Hitman 2. Look. The background, the thing that you see across the top and down the side, it'll be Hitman 2, and I'll actually be playing the Hitman 1 missions in Hitman 3. Anyway, so let us get off. Raid Herf Singer Games. Yeah. Chat to you later, Josh. Probably next Tuesday. Magcat, see you on Saturday, if not before. And J Station. Given your enthusiasm, I do believe you'll be around tomorrow. I hope. If nothing else, I'll see you all when I see you. Taddy bye.